What's happening, guys? So, match preview of tomorrow night's crucial, crucial, crucial match. Title deciding match. Manchester City versus Arsenal. This is the game. I mean, every game's like a cup final, right? Even though our last 3 games that we've played, we haven't been treating it like a cup final. Just make sure my mic's turned up. We haven't been treating those games like cup finals. You could say, okay, we fought against Southampton, but we should never have been 2 goals down twice in that game at home. You know what I mean? Never should we have been 2-0 and 3-1 down. No way, Jose Enrique. You know what I mean? But anyways, tomorrow night, oh, we're in it. League leaders Arsenal versus second place and FA Cup finalists Manchester City, who are only 5 points behind us with 2 games in hands. Now, if Man City win this game, they'll be within 2 points of Arsenal with 2 games in hands. The way I see it, I'm looking at Man City and I'm thinking to myself, they've got another draw and a loss in them bare minimum. But it's a case of what are we going to do? Because we're still top of the table, but for how long? Now, let's get into Arteta, because he's obviously spoken to the media. He says that we have to focus on ourselves, which, yeah, we should do, and that's what we should have been doing the whole time. Ahead of tomorrow night's crucial game against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium, Mikel Arteta believes our primary focus must remain on ourselves. A draw against Southampton last Friday saw us extend our advantage at the top of the league table to 5 points, and we have the chance to build on that in that lead in tomorrow night's game against our closest title challengers. Now, we win this game, we've got 8 points clear with Man City having 2 games in hands. Right? That's a better position to be in, but it could have been so much better. It could have been so much better. Speaking to the media ahead of the game, Mikel discussed the threat Man City poses and how he plans to overcome it. Obviously, we have worked on their threat as well as we have worked on their weaknesses. We know where they are. The boss said, well, we've lost twice to them this season. So, yeah, I don't think we've found out yet. The issue with City is that they start with the goalkeeper. They are a threat when the ball is with him. You have to control every single player. But we must focus on ourselves. We know what they want to do, what they're going to try and do, and they can do various things. They can play with a box inside. They can play with a diamond. They can build a game with a 3. They can be asymmetric on one side, and they can pull one out of the right-hand side of the right and play a diamond. My reading's off. They can put Walker higher, meaning Kyle Walker. He added, they can do so many things that you have to be able to adapt to. So you have to focus on certain principles and try to play the game how you want. Well, the thing is, we know they can do so many things, but what can we do? What's our plan B? When our formation's not going well, what is our plan? Now, let me get onto formations, because an Instagram an Instagram picture from Barstools. Let me just bring it up, right? Oh, he's back again, but it wasn't Troops that posted it, right? Look at this formation. This makes sense to me, right? This makes sense. Let's start with the back. Obviously, Ramsdale's going to be there. That's a given. Kieran Tierney in the back 3. Kieran Tierney can play as a centre-back, right? And he's also left-sided. This makes so much sense. Gabriel and Ben White. right? Because Ben White could do this. Thomas Partey and Zinchenko. That makes sense. That makes sense. Zinchenko can do all the inverting that he wants to do, right? He can do all that shit. Then you got Big Gabs, Big Tross, Odegaard, Big Sacks, and man like Jesus. You know what I mean? This would make sense to me, in my opinion. This would make sense. You know what I mean? Adjust the formation according to who's in and not in or out. I don't see why not. Honestly, I honestly don't see why not. You know what I mean? Let's say this team is winning a game with this formation, let's just say, right? You could take off Saka, Martinelli, and put a left back and a right back playing as a wing back to close the game out. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, I would expect this formation regardless anyway, but I wouldn't expect this, say, if Granit Xhaka was back in the team, you know, and this Saliba was back in the team. But this for me, this formation wouldn't be a bad shout. I think we are a bit deep in the season to try and explore such formation now, but at the same time, for me, that makes sense. It makes sense, but I don't think we're going to do that tomorrow night. I really don't think we're going to do that tomorrow night. I don't expect that. You know what I mean? I don't expect that formation. Now, let's just carry on reading this. We have faced Man City twice this season and narrowly lost on both occasions. Well, 3-1 is not really a narrow loss, is it? The 1-0, yeah. You know what I mean? Going out of the FA Cup to Nathan Ake's goal in January before we undone in a tactical affair at the Emirates Stadium a month later. Our Gunners haven't lost since, bouncing back from the particular defeat, winning our next 7 league games. Though Mikel is wary about Man City's ability to damage teams, he believes if we focus on ourselves, we can cause Pep Guardiola's side problems in this time round. Sorry, I beg to differ. My prediction for this game is we're going to get slaughtered 6-0. Maybe if we have a good game, we'll probably only lose 1-0 or 2-0, 2-1. Maybe if we have a good game. Because going by the last 3 games, how are we going to go there and cause problems? Now, some people would say, well, you never expect Southampton to be 2-0 up at Emirates. But I don't expect Arsenal to do anything at the Etihad. We've lost to them twice already this season. We haven't beaten Man City since, 2015 in the league? The last player to score against Man City was Laurent Koscielny. That was in 2019. And again, we lost. Fam, this is what I expect tomorrow. At least now you're going to know what the fatality is going to be once we've lost this game tomorrow. Should we get anything else, then obviously I'm going to have to create a new one. But I just don't expect, I just can't see how this team, the way we've been playing, is going to outscore Man City at the Etihad. I just can't see it. I mean, part of me is like, is there even any point watching the game tomorrow? Is there realistically any point? There's no point, is there? Because I think we know what's going to happen. Now, in terms of, the starting 11, obviously that formation I just showed you earlier, this formation, I don't expect to see that formation. That formation is not going to happen. So we can just count that out. It's not going to happen. So, what do I want? And what do some other Arsenal fans want? Well, my personal opinion, Trossard should start. He was player of the month last month. Hadn't started the game since. Why? This is why I look at Arteta and be like, fam, you're not taking this seriously now. You're not taking this seriously. Saka missed a penalty against West Ham to put us 3-1 up. We ended up drawing that game 2-2. He still saw to play the next game. Yes, he scored. But he was still given the right to start. Even though he clearly could do with being benched. I know he's not going to get benched tomorrow night. Which means Trossard's going to be on the bench yet again. I don't know what Trossard needs to do. Does he need to score a hat-trick? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't expect Jesus or Martinelli to be benched. So I expect Trossard to be on the bench. Because Saka's going to start. We know this. Now, Granit Xhaka, that's questionable. Illness. So I don't want to see Fabio Vieira anywhere near this team. I've tried to defend that guy. But I can't defend him no more. Can't defend him no more. He needs a loan and he needs to bulk up. You know what I mean? We paid 35 million for him. And 35 million could have got us a better player. You know what I mean? So, even though I didn't want this guy anywhere near the club, I want Big George to start this game alongside Partey. It makes sense. More experienced. But I bet you Arteta's not going to do that. He ain't going to do that. We know Kiwior can play as a defensive mid, but I don't expect Arteta to explore that. Nope. Now, if we were to play this formation tomorrow and come out with a win, he should go with this going forward for the rest of the season. See it out. Because you've got Big Zinni and Partey that can drop deep into that defense. Even though we know Zinchenko's useless as a defender, right? Seriously, Arteta needs to look at this. He needs to think, you know what? That won't be a bad shout. It honestly wouldn't be a bad shout. And I think that Arsenal need to start looking at different formations for when something ain't going to plan, we can switch to something like this. Because this could work. This could work. You know what I mean? You're essentially a back five. You know what I mean? You got a back five and a front five. You know what I mean? That's 5 in defense, 5 in attack, essentially. This could work. I want this to work. I want him to try it, and I want it to work. Right? Well, more importantly, I want him to try it to begin with. Because it's all good saying it could work, it might not work. But I thought this kind of formation, I think it could work. But I don't think Arteta has the minerals. I really don't. We have to focus a lot on ourselves, he insisted, but we still need to understand what they can do. We have to be prepared for those changes, which is a lot because of what they can do at the beginning. In the beginning, they can do that in 20 minutes at halftime and in the last 20 minutes. You have to be really prepared for that. But this cannot absorb your energy to be constantly adapting to what they do, and we have to focus on our strengths in how we can cause them problems. Mikel also thinks our league best form away from home can help us both tomorrow night and our push for the title. Well, one thing I will say is when Thomas Partey is played a full 90 minutes, we haven't lost. You know what I mean? That's one thing I'll say. But, you know, the away games we lost, we still lost them. I mean, we only won one game when he hadn't played at all, and that was Aston Villa, if I can recall correctly. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah, it's going to be a tough night and challenge. Yes, but opportunity is incredible for us. We knew from the beginning, if you want to win the Premier League, you have to go to Spurs. You have to beat them. I don't know why he's mentioned Spurs for. Why the fuck did he mention Spurs for? Let me read that again. Yeah, it's going to be tough, a tough night and challenge, yes, but the opportunity is incredible for us. We knew from the beginning, if you want to win the Premier League, you have to go to Spurs and you have to beat them. Well, Spurs are shit anyway, and they've been shit this season, so we will dual win against them anyway, right? I don't see why Spurs get mentioned in there. You know, like Spurs is some world beater. We have to go to Man City and win. You know what I mean? We have to go to Manchester City and win. You know what I mean? Fuck Spurs. Who are they? You know what I mean? Well, Spurs. The audacity of Arteta to turn around and say you have to go to Spurs if you want to win the Premier League.
Stop the cap.
Nah, fam. Nah. You know what I mean? What? If you want to win the Premier League, you have to go to Spurs and you have to beat them. What? Nah. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, we beat Spurs this season, right? We haven't won there in the league since 2014, but fam, that's not it, man. That's not it. Right? So he also says you have to go to Chelsea and you have to beat them. You have to go away from home, you have to beat them. This is what we've been doing. That's why we are here. It's true, but put us in those fixtures right now. Do you think we beat them in the same manner? Now we have to go to City and we have to beat them. If you want to be champions, you have to win those matches. It's as simple as that. Well, the warlord in all that is Manchester City. They're the big ones. They're the big ones. They're the ones where it's like, you look at Liverpool. Liverpool beat everybody this season that they will finish 1 point behind Man City. Only lost one game. The drew games. You know what I mean? They didn't beat Man City at the Etihad. That's ultimately what cost them. They didn't beat Man City. They drew at Anfield and they didn't beat Man City. If they'd have beaten Man City that season, they'd have won a double. You know what I mean? You have to go there and win. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? It's just like back in the day, it was Old Trafford was the ground you had to go to if you knew you were going to win the league. You know what I mean? Our previous Premier League titles, apart from the Invincibles, all won by we at least won at Old Trafford. One of them we actually won the league at Old Trafford. You know what I mean? The league titles Wenger won for Arsenal, he didn't lose at Old Trafford that season that he won them. And they were the big dogs. They were the ones where it make or break, basically. You know what I mean? So it's the same with Manchester City. You have to go there. You have to not lose if you're going to win the league. It's as simple as that. Well, I won't say it's simple because, as I said, this is what I expect to happen tomorrow. I mean, that's what I expect to happen tomorrow. But you never know. You never know. But this formation, oh no, that's looking quite saucy, that formation. Zinni gets to do what he wants to do. Partey will be Partey, and they can both drop deep. Kieran Tierney will be having game time. Gabriel, obviously the centre back. Plus, another thing as well, right, with this is Kiwior could play in Tina's position or in Zinchenko's position, being left-footed. You know what I mean? Holding can play anywhere in the back three like that. And this, I'm talking about subs at this point. You know what I mean? Nketiah, obviously, striker, you know what I mean? Options. Why not explore this? You know what I mean? Obviously, Jorginho can play, where Zinchenko is, where Partey is. Experience. Obviously, we know Vieira can play, well, preferably in Odegaard's position if he was to, say, come on in this lineup off the bench. Even though I don't want him in this team. I don't want him starting games at least anyway. Don't mind bringing him on if we're winning, but you know what I mean? He's not a player that you can trust at the moment. You know what I mean? But fam, big game tomorrow night, title decider. But as I said all season, we ain't winning the league. I haven't. You know what I mean? Arsenal have just been Arsenal. You know what I mean? And where these slip-ups will come from Man City, you know what I mean? We have a chance to win, but it doesn't mean we're gonna. You know what I mean? Let me just, before I end this, let me just have a look at Man City's fixtures again. Right? No, I know I'm concentrating on Man City a little bit too much, but as a fan, when you've got concerns and you have to look at these things. Now, the next game after this is Fulham. They've found form now, right? They go to Fulham, 2:00 on Sunday. We actually don't play till next month now after this, because we were meant to play on the 29th. But it got moved because whatever. And then they play their game in hand, which is against West Ham. Now West Ham have found form, but West Ham are going to Man City. I can't see anything happening there. Then Man City host Leeds United. What the fuck are Leeds United going to do? Then they've obviously got Champions League semi-finals. In between that, though, they play Everton away from home. They'll get like a title-winning type of win there, like a 1-0. It'll be a close game, I think. Everton will be stubborn. Man City will come away with the goods. And they've got the second leg of the semi-finals Champions League. And then Chelsea. Now, you look at the Chelsea game, you think, maybe Chelsea, because Lampard's already got a draw out of Man City this season when he was at Everton. You never know with Chelsea. I'm still worried about Chelsea, to be honest with you. Because look at Southampton. Southampton is a prime example why I was worried about Chelsea. Then they go to Brighton, which is their second game in hand. Brighton's not the easiest place to go to. And Brighton, they might be on the beach a little bit now because, and then they play Brentford away from home, last game of the season, before they have their FA Cup final on the 3rd. So, yeah. Where is the slip-ups in that? Where would you say, as fans, as Arsenal fans, where would you say Man City would slip up in where would they slip up to say that we're gonna win the league? Because we've still got our games, right? So is it gonna be Fulham? Is it gonna be West Ham? Is it gonna be Leeds? Is it gonna be Everton? Is it gonna be Chelsea, Brighton, Brentford? Look at our fixtures. After City, then we've got Chelsea. Then Newcastle away. Whew. Then Brighton at home. Forest away. Wolves at home. You know what I mean? If there's going to be another twist, then I don't know. But I'm just not confident about tomorrow night. I still say we're going to get blitzed tomorrow. And I'm going with 6-0. I'm only going with that because, one, Arteta ain't going to do... He isn't going to do the logical thing with his starting lineup. He'll play Zinchenko at left back, leave Tini on the bench, He'll probably play Vieira in midfield. You know what I mean? And we'll be no better than how it was against Southampton, apart from we won't be able to crawl back the amount of goals that will be down, right? And yeah, just the way we bottled 2-goal lead at Anfield and at London Stadium. Then we're going to Man City. Then we'll go 2 down against Southampton. You mix that together. You know what I mean? We conceded 7 goals in those 3 games. We could concede that tomorrow night. You know what I mean? So I have no belief that this team can go there and outscore Man City. Or stop them from scoring altogether. A draw ain't good enough. Not now. Nope, past that. You see, if we were 9 points better off how we should be, right? Based on the way we played against Liverpool and West Ham, and on paper, you know, Southampton bottom of the table, Arsenal top of the table, you think 9 points. Nope. I mean, 9 points better off we could have been right now. You know what I mean? So we could have been 14 points ahead of Man City right now. You know what I mean? And imagine 14 points and then win this game tomorrow. 17 points with City having 2 games in hands. What could have been, eh? What could have been? You know what I mean? But no. In fact, no, sorry. No, I'm getting that wrong because... Well, no, got it right. Because... No, got it wrong because we've picked up 3 points from 3 games. So... we would have been 6 points better off right now. Yeah, we would have been 6 points better off, sorry. So, 6 points better off from now... That's 11 points. Would have been 11 points clear right now if we'd have won our previous 3 games. And if we'd beat Man City tomorrow with that, right, then it would have been 14 points with Man City having 2 games in hands. What could have been? You know what I mean? What could have been? And then we could have afforded to drop points somewhere like Newcastle or something like that. Now, you know what I mean? Or imagine if we were 11 points clear and we drew tomorrow. So, yeah. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Big game tomorrow night. I won't mind seeing this kind of formation. This kind of formation will be quite saucy, to be honest with you. But let me know what you guys think. Anyways, like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, and follow all the socials. And I'll see you guys for the match reaction tomorrow night. Title, it's going to be decided tomorrow, regardless of what. You know what I mean? It's going to be decided tomorrow. So let me know what you guys think. Finish off with how I started.